Democratic establishment blindsided this week as a bombshell report from the New York Times is raising serious political and now legal questions for the presumed 2016 Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton in a scandal that also lands squarely at the doorstep of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Welcome to the Kelly File, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. Tonight, some 48 hours after we first learned Secretary Clinton conducted that's the critical part, all of her State Department business on a private email account that for years appears to have gone under the radar, Mrs. Clinton is staying quiet, not bothering to address the controversy at a gala in Washington where she appeared. But the White House cannot avoid the questions. And tonight we investigate new claims that Mrs. Clinton's behavior here may amount to a felony, and whether the White House can successfully claim that it has no responsibility here. We begin tonight with Ed Henry, our chief White House correspondent. Ed?
Good evening, Megyn. Bottom line is this is expanding beyond a campaign issue into a question of accountability for the White House, where spokesman Josh Earnest now for 2 days has gotten dozens of questions about what the White House knew and when they knew it. I pressed him today on whether the president and his aides knew Secretary Clinton had her own email server at home. He admitted he was not sure. Pressed on the president, claiming he's all about cybersecurity, and yet White House aides emailed Secretary Clinton on her personal account for 4 years without standing up and saying maybe she could get hacked by the Chinese or others. And then meanwhile, 7 different congressional committees investigated Benghazi, and Secretary Clinton did not turn over her emails, which is why Republican Trey Gowdy tonight has now subpoenaed Secretary Clinton for those emails. It's clear, at the very least, that Secretary Clinton violated the guidance, if not the law, that the White House has made clear to all the agencies and departments about keeping records and being transparent. Listen.
Why can't you have all these rules and laws? Why can't you just say she exercised poor judgment, even if you don't know if she broke the law? This is your guidance. It was not followed.
Yeah. Well, Ed, the question, and this was raised by Mike, is whether or not she was in compliance with the Federal Records Act. And in this case, again, if Secretary Clinton's team did what they said they did, then they would be in compliance with the Federal Records Act.
The key is where he said, if Secretary Clinton's team did what they said they did, which is turn over the large majority of her emails, then all is well. But he acknowledged multiple times, Josh Earnest, that the White House has not independently verified that, Megyn.
Right. So far, all we have is the word of the Clinton team. That's not how it's supposed to work. The federal agencies are supposed to have all these documents. They'll screen them. They'll take out the personal ones. Someone could be held accountable. Right now, it's just Hillary's people whose word upon which we apparently must rely. Ed, thank you.
Good to see you.
This goes much deeper than we thought it did. And we're going to get into this tonight. As we have mentioned, we're hearing serious questions now about whether Mrs. Clinton may have committed a felony by conducting all of her official government business on a private email account. It's not just the private email. You can have private email. It's what you do with the email thereafter that becomes the problem. You see, federal law makes it a crime punishable to up to 3 years in prison if someone has records and, quote, willfully and unlawfully conceals or destroys such records. Did she conceal those records for years when those 7 committees were demanding to see her personal correspondence, her professional correspondence? Moments before we came to air, I spoke to Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano. So is she in trouble legally?
She's in a lot of trouble legally, and there's 2 sources of her trouble. One is if she retained on her personal email account using the Clinton server at her home or near her home in Chappaqua, New York, classified materials, classified documents. She arguably violated the same statute that General Petraeus has agreed that he will plead guilty to, which prohibits retaining classified information in a non-government, non-secured way. That's a misdemeanor. It's not a felony. There's no grand jury. There's no trial jury. But the punishment is up to a year in jail and a $100,000 fine for each document.
Does it have to be a willful thing? She's going to say, I did it all my information was there. I didn't do that willfully. I wasn't willfully flouting the law.
Well, she doesn't have to willfully flout the law, but she has to willfully retain the document. If she received a classified document or discussion about classified information, for example, we're going after Osama bin Laden. We think he's in Abbottabad, and that comes from the president or from the Secretary of Defense, and that is in her computer in her home,
right,
rather than secured in a government computer. She has violated the same statute that General Petraeus is going to plead guilty to.
What are the odds that when she did all of her emailing on the private account, that in her entire tenure as Secretary of State, she never sent or received anything classified, which is what the State Department's claiming right now?
In my view, it would be inconceivable. I don't know how she could do her job, because she had the highest security clearance there is. She had the same security clearance as the president, the Secretary of Defense, and the head of the CIA, so that she could openly and clearly deal with these national secrets. It's inconceivable she never dealt with them.
All right, let's talk about number two, because number two would get her in even bigger trouble, and
Yes.
now we're talking potential felony.
Yes, number two. The other way that she's in trouble is a person who knowingly and willfully destroys or conceals government records. This is a felony punishable in jail by up to 3 years, and, are you ready for this, disqualification from holding public office under the United States of America in the future.
That is stunning.
Well,
what would they have to prove? That she knowingly did it, and that she unlawfully did it?
Yes, and the it is concealing from the government documents that she knew or ought to have known belonged to the government.
She's been turning over documents, but not all documents.
Correct, because instead of going to the government and saying, I want my personal documents, the government had to go to her and say, we want the governmental documents. So instead of the government giving her the personal ones, she decided what was personal and what was governmental.
And that's where we are today. That is the current status, that she has decided what we get and what we don't get.
That act of possessing and deciding is the act of concealment, which is made criminal by the statute.
We're going to see a battle on this front, potentially. Not under this Attorney General, but perhaps in the future. Judge, good to see you.
Pleasure.